Sure. Here's an intro in the style of Priyanka Chopra. In a world that constantly seeks validation and recognition, there's an extraordinary power in moving in silence. It's not about boasting or announcing your every step. It's about focusing on your journey, letting your actions be louder than your achievements from the rooftops. It's about letting your results speak for themselves. So let's embrace the art of quiet determination. It's in those silent moments of hard work and persistence that we build the foundations of our greatest triumphs. The world will notice, but only when you're ready to let your success do the talking. Silence has often been misunderstood as a lack of action or as a void that needs to be filled with noise. But silence, when understood and embraced, is one of the most powerful tools at our disposal in a world that thrives on constant communication, attention, and validation. Silence becomes an almost revolutionary choice. It is in silence that we find our strength, not just to move forward, but to grow, to reflect, and to truly align with our purpose. When we learn to move in silence, we step away from the need for external validation and into a space where our inner convictions guide us. Moving in silence does not mean withdrawing from the world or avoiding interaction. It means being deliberate in our actions, quiet in our intentions, and steadfast in our pursuits. It is about knowing that the true measure of our progress is not in the praise we receive, but in the work we continue to put in when no one is watching. The moments of silence give us room to grow, to recalibrate, and to refine our skills without the distractions of external noise. Often we feel the need to share every step of our journey, whether through social media, conversations, or public proclamations. There is a cultural expectation to be seen, heard, and acknowledged constantly. However, this incessant need for validation can distract us from what truly matters: the quality of our work, the depth of our commitment, and the authenticity of our actions. By embracing silence, we create the mental space needed to focus entirely on the process rather than on the potential reward or recognition. There is a profound power in working quietly without the urge to broadcast every accomplishment. Silence does not mean passivity. It means efficiency, focus, and discipline. It is the ability to remain committed to a vision while resisting the temptation to stop and seek recognition. It is the quiet that allows creativity to flourish, that lets innovation emerge organically. In silence, there is no room for comparison. There is only the pure pursuit of excellence for its own sake. Moving in silence also protects our energy. When we share every thought, every plan, and every step we take, we risk losing the power of anticipation. The world does not need to know our every move in real time. In fact, when we keep our goals and ambitions to ourselves, we create a space where our efforts can be truly impactful, free from the pressures of others' expectations. In this quiet space, we preserve our energy for what truly matters. Furthermore, silence fosters introspection. In the quiet moments, we learn to listen to ourselves. We tune into our true desires, strengths, and areas for growth. It is in silence that we confront our doubts, work through our fears, and develop the resilience needed to continue on our path. We stop looking for external cues and begin to trust our internal compass, developing a deeper sense of self-awareness. Silence becomes a practice of self-reliance and self-belief. Ultimately, silence gives us the clarity to keep going. The world may shout at us, telling us to speed up, to perform, to display our achievements, but moving in silence teaches us that success is not about keeping pace with the noise around us. It is about maintaining our own rhythm, trusting that the work we do in private will speak volumes when the time comes. Silence then becomes the canvas on which we paint the masterpiece of our success. When we focus on the work itself rather than the recognition or attention it might bring, we begin to realize that the process of creation is more important than the outcome. Often people become obsessed with the idea of being acknowledged for their efforts, whether it's through praise from others, accolades, or even a pat on the back. This external validation, while rewarding in the short term, can distract us from the deeper purpose of our work. The true satisfaction of achievement doesn't come from the applause we receive, but from the knowledge that we are making progress and growing in our craft, regardless of whether anyone else notices. The work itself is where the magic happens. The hours of dedication, the sacrifice, and the focus that go into honing our skills and refining our craft are what truly define our success. Success isn't just about the results, it's about the journey, the quiet hours spent in pursuit of something greater than ourselves. When we focus on the work, we stop worrying about external praise or recognition, and instead we are driven by an intrinsic motivation to excel. We begin to understand that the quality of our work speaks louder than any words or public acknowledgement ever could. By focusing on the work, we allow ourselves to be present in the process without the distractions of worrying about how others will perceive it. When we give our attention fully to the task at hand, we tap into a deep well of creativity and productivity. We are no longer concerned with seeking approval. We are solely focused on delivering our best work. This creates an environment where we can truly thrive, as we are no longer hindered by the noise of external opinions or expectations. The work done with love, passion, and discipline becomes its own reward. Furthermore, when we stop seeking approval, we free ourselves from the weight of judgment. In a world where comparison is rampant, it is easy to lose sight of our own unique path. When we are constantly looking outward for validation, we start to measure our worth against others rather than focusing on our own personal progress. By letting go of the need for external recognition, we can find peace in knowing that our worth is not defined by how others view us, but by the integrity of our work and the effort we put into it. Focusing on the work also allows us to stay grounded. In a world obsessed with fame, instant gratification, and social media metrics, it's easy to get swept up in the desire for instant recognition. But the truly successful people understand that lasting achievements take time. They don't rush to announce their successes to the world. Instead, they remain humble and allow their results to gradually reveal the depth of their efforts. This quiet, patient dedication to the work is what sets them apart. When we prioritize the work over the recognition, we also begin to develop a sense of fulfillment that cannot be shaken by the ups and downs of external validation. This internal sense of satisfaction becomes our driving force. Instead of constantly seeking approval or external markers of success, we are content in knowing that we are making steady progress in the direction of our goals. This mindset cultivates resilience as we learn to rely on our internal motivation rather than the fickle nature of external praise. The satisfaction of seeing our work come to life, of seeing the results speak for themselves, is more than enough. Letting your results speak for themselves is a concept that challenges the very core of how we've been conditioned to approach success. In an age where everyone is encouraged to promote their achievements, flaunt their success, and share every milestone publicly, the idea of letting your results speak quietly but powerfully is both radical and profound. It forces us to take a step back and reconsider what success truly means. Is it about how loudly we announce our victories, or is it about the depth, impact, and substance of what we create? Success isn't a performance for others, it's a manifestation of personal growth, determination, and hard work. When we focus on letting our results speak, we detach from the need to prove anything to the world. We stop seeking validation and instead allow the outcomes of our efforts to stand as proof of our capability. This shift in mindset allows us to put more energy into the work itself rather than into curating the image of our success for an audience. Our achievements become a reflection of our dedication, passion, and skill, not a means to gain attention or accolades. One of the most powerful aspects of letting your results speak is the way it forces you to focus purely on quality over quantity. The world may shout at us to post every success, no matter how small, but in doing so, we risk diluting the significance of what we're achieving. Constantly announcing every step of the journey takes away from the true value of those steps. The world doesn't need to see everything, and often the most profound successes are the ones that are quietly cultivated and executed with patience. By letting your results speak, you give them the room to be understood and appreciated in their purest form, without the need for over-explanation or constant commentary. There's also a sense of respect that comes with letting results speak for themselves. People who've achieved great things without the need for constant boasting or self-promotion are often regarded with a certain admiration. Their work stands as evidence of their capabilities. They don't need to tell you what they've done because you can see it. It's this level of trust in the work that allows the results to stand on their own. You don't need to shout from the rooftops. When your achievements are undeniable, they will naturally command the attention they deserve. Moreover, letting your results speak also places the emphasis on long-term impact rather than short-term recognition. We live in a world that often celebrates fleeting moments of success. Someone's 15 minutes of fame can easily overshadow years of dedicated effort. But when we let our results do the talking, we place value on enduring, sustainable success, the kind that lasts. These results may not always be immediately visible, but their impact will be felt for years to come. In choosing to remain silent while the work unfolds, we show our trust in the process and our belief that time will reveal the true depth of our success. The beauty of this approach is that it shifts the measure of success from external validation to intrinsic fulfillment. It's no longer about the likes, shares, or public praise. It's about the satisfaction that comes from knowing that you've done the work, that you've stayed true to your vision, and that your efforts have made a difference. It's a quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't require validation because the results already speak volume. This way, success becomes less about seeking acknowledgement and more about finding peace in the quiet achievement of your goals. Trusting the process is an essential element of success that is often overlooked in our fast-paced world. We live in an age where immediate results are highly valued and instant gratification is expected. Whether it's in our personal or professional lives, we are constantly encouraged to achieve quick wins, often at the expense of long-term sustainability. However, true success comes not from rushing to the finish line, but from having the patience and discipline to trust the process, knowing that every step, no matter how small, is part of a larger, meaningful journey. When we talk about trusting the process, we're referring to the belief that the steps we are taking, even if they seem insignificant in the moment, are leading us to our desired outcome. This belief is rooted in the understanding that success doesn't come overnight. It's built through hard work, persistence, and the ability to stay focused on the long-term vision. Trusting the process means accepting that there will be challenges, setbacks, and delays, but believing that these obstacles are simply part of the journey, not signs of failure. In many ways, trusting the process requires us to let go of our need for control. We often want to dictate every aspect of our journey, ensuring that everything goes according to plan. But the reality is that not everything will go as we expect, and there will be moments of uncertainty and discomfort. It's during these times that trusting the process becomes most important. Instead of panicking or losing confidence, we lean into the discomfort, knowing that it's part of the growth process. Every setback, every detour is an opportunity to learn and adjust, not a reason to give up. Trusting the process also means having faith in ourselves and in our abilities. It's easy to doubt ourselves when things aren't moving as quickly as we'd like, or when others seem to be achieving their goals faster. However, comparison is the enemy of progress. Trusting the process requires us to stop measuring our progress against others and instead focus on our own path. Everyone's journey is different, and the timeline for success varies from person to person. By trusting the process, we stop worrying about how fast we're going and instead focus on the consistency of our effort. Another important aspect of trusting the process is learning to embrace failure as a natural part of the journey. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is a stepping stone toward it. When we trust the process, we understand that failure is not something to be feared or avoided, but something to be learned from. Each failure brings us closer to success because it teaches us what doesn't work and helps refine our approach. It's through failure that we often gain the wisdom and resilience necessary to keep moving forward, even when things seem uncertain. Trusting the process also involves patience. We must accept that success doesn't come instantly and that it requires time to build the necessary skills, experiences, and relationships to achieve our goals. In a world that often emphasizes speed and instant results, this can be difficult. But true success is not about quick wins. It's about creating something meaningful, lasting, and impactful. When we trust the process, we give ourselves the time and space to grow, evolve, and develop in ways that are essential for long-term success. This patience allows us to appreciate the journey and recognize that every small step is part of a much larger picture. Consistency is often seen as the unsung hero of success. In a world that celebrates dramatic transformations and overnight victories, the quiet power of consistency is sometimes overlooked. It is not the loudest or the most flashy part of success, but it is certainly one of the most important. Consistency is the glue that holds everything together. It's the driving force behind every small effort that eventually adds up to something significant. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a big win or a breakthrough moment, but real success is built on the foundation of consistent, steady effort. One of the reasons consistency is so powerful is because it cultivates discipline. When we commit to being consistent, we are committing to showing up day in and day out, no matter what. This commitment is not just to the tasks at hand, but to ourselves and to our goals. It requires us to push through the days when motivation wanes or when the work feels tedious. It's about developing the mental toughness to stay the course, even when the rewards are not immediately visible. Consistency teaches us that success doesn't come from sporadic bursts of effort, but from showing up with dedication and persistence over time. Consistency also breeds improvement. When we show up every day, we give ourselves the opportunity to grow. Each time we practice, we get a little bit better. It's the repeated actions, small and incremental, that lead to mastery. Progress is rarely linear, and we don't always see immediate results from our efforts, but the beauty of consistency is that even when it feels like we're not getting anywhere, we're still moving forward. Every effort, no matter how small, contributes to the larger goal. Eventually, those small steps compound into significant results. This is why consistency is often more valuable than intensity. It's the steady, continuous effort that leads to true transformation. Furthermore, consistency helps build momentum. When we consistently show up, we begin to build a rhythm, a flow that makes progress feel more natural. The more we commit to the process, the easier it becomes to keep going. Our habits become ingrained, and what once seemed difficult or overwhelming becomes second nature. This momentum is a powerful force. It pushes us forward even when we face obstacles or challenges. It's the consistency of effort that creates the drive to keep moving forward even when external circumstances might suggest that we take a break. With each small win, we gain confidence, and with that confidence, we are better equipped to handle the next challenge that comes our way. Another reason consistency is crucial is that it builds trust in others and in ourselves. When we show up consistently, we demonstrate reliability, and others begin to trust that we will do what we say we will do. This trust can open doors and create opportunities that wouldn't exist otherwise. But perhaps most importantly, consistency builds self-trust. Every time we commit to doing the work and follow through, we reinforce the belief that we are capable of achieving our goals. This trust in ourselves is the foundation of confidence, and it's what allows us to push through challenges without second-guessing our abilities. The power of consistency lies in its ability to turn ordinary actions into extraordinary results. It's not about doing everything perfectly or making big dramatic strides every day. It's about showing up and doing the work, no matter how small the task may seem. Over time, these consistent actions will add up, creating a powerful force of progress and growth. In the end, success isn't defined by the noise around us, the applause we receive, or the speed at which we reach the finish line. It's defined by the quiet moments of dedication, the consistency in our efforts, and the trust we place in the process. Moving in silence, focusing on the work, trusting our journey, and allowing our results to speak for themselves. This is how true success is built. It's not about shouting about every victory, but about quietly creating a life of purpose, impact, and fulfillment. So embrace the silence, keep moving forward with consistency, and remember, let your success speak louder than any words ever could.